Welcome, welcome, sisters, to Born for These Times, the Rise of the Feminine Light Leader. It is an honor to have you here. Today is Friday, June 5th, 2026. And I've got a lot to share with you today. So for those of you who have been in circle with me before online, we're not going to dance. So I hope you're not too disappointed. But there's just a lot here to go through. So again, welcome to this beautiful gathering where we're going to dive into the energies around these times, what it means, what's going on for us here, and how we can best work with these energies. All right, so let us begin. We're going to begin by opening sacred space. I'm going to call in the divine and invite us all into a guided experience. And as some of you may know, I kind of go into an altered state. So it's guided, it's kind of, it flows through me, right? So I have ideas in my head, but that may not be that at all. Either way, it's an opportunity for us to connect in and really weave our energies together, even though it's virtual. All time and space are really one in the greater scope of things. So we're going to weave our energies together here and really open up a space that's sacred and safe and a place for us to dive into Born for These Times and our own rise as feminine light leaders. So I want to invite you to make yourself comfortable and spine straight if possible. And just drop your energy. You can gently drop the eyes, close the eyes, and focus your energy. Drop it into the heart space. I'm just going to drop into the heart now. And take a few breaths from the heart as if you're breathing in and out of the heart. Allowing the day that you've had up until this now moment and the day that will come following our gathering to just drop away, be put to the side as you rest in this now moment with your sisters, as you rest in this now moment with your breath, as you rest in this now moment with your heart, in the space where you are physically, and in this energetic container we are opening now. Thank you. Feel the ease and grace that can come when you just drop in and let everything else go for a few moments. Okay, so now we're going to take a few heart breaths. And this is a key piece of what I've been bringing through for a while now with the women I work with, where we, on the inhale, pull from the what's called the 0 point, the center of the center of the center of your high heart. It's the access point to eternity. It is the point at which we go inward to access the divine. Mother, Father, God, Spirit, all that is, the eternal. And so just take a moment to allow yourself to see, feel, and know that you are focalizing into the high heart right at the very center, right at the very center. And on the inhale, breathe as if you are pulling light from that very center of the center, pulling it out into the field of your beingness, into the form. So inhaling and pulling light from source through the heart center, through 0 point. And on the exhale, allowing that light to bathe your body completely. Just the physical form right now. Pausing on the empty before the next inhale as you pull from 0 point. Inhale and pull, sourcing from source itself, from your own greatest wisdom access point. Exhaling to bathe yourself in that light, that divine light. Feeling, seeing, and knowing each cell, each organ of the body, all your DNA being bathed in divine love light intelligence. And again, inhaling, pulling from 0 point. Exhaling, bathing your entire physical and now the energy layers of your body, your auric field and the other layers in that light. pausing in silence on the empty, letting yourself receive the light of the divine to upgrade and nourish you on all levels. We're going to do one more of these, breathing in, pulling from 0 point, exhaling to bathe all the layers of your being in divine love light intelligence, waking up, brightening up your DNA, your cells, your organs, your light body, your body template, all the layers. And now breathing at a pace that works for you, I'm just going to take a moment to open up the space a little bit more formally, calling upon divine love light intelligence, God, Goddess, the I Am, the mighty Christ presence that is the awakened soul in form. I call upon the light beings within and all around us, and each of my sisters' guides. Come, come, hold us in sacred space. Hold us that we may access our own divine wisdom, our own divine self-love and compassion, and our own capacity to walk through these auspicious and challenging times with a level of grace and ease that our human mind alone could not countenance. I call forth the elders, the wisdom holders of the 4 directions, the below, the above, and the center, to hold us in sacred space for our time together. And I call upon the wisdom elders of each of my sisters' lineage, those who would be willing to join us and hold us here. Bring forth the wisdom of the ages, the wisdom of each woman's line, that we may heal, clear, transform, and rise as light leaders in service to the organic ascension of Earth, to our sisters and brothers, and to our own grace-filled awakening. So take a moment now, sisters, and just breathe and feel the container. You can take a moment to call forth any guides or support that feel aligned for you. And I just really ask for grace and blessings for this gathering, that each sister walk away with an uplift, an insight, a clarity that serves her for her next steps on her life journey. And so this sacred space is open. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, okay, let us begin. Just a few temple keeping items, like practical stuff. Please keep yourself muted because it does create a confusing echo. For those of you on a phone, a lot of times if you get a call, if you can turn off the call function or however that works, because it will automatically unmute you depending on your phone. Welcome to the sisters who joined us while we were opening the container. Also a reminder to stay to the end, at the very end, and I'm going to walk us through everything we're going to do here in a minute, but at the very end we're going to do a little guided experience so that you can have a personal shift toward whatever's best for you right now. Also, please note that you'll get an email tomorrow with a copy of the replay if that is something you want to re-listen to again. And then here's what we're going to cover today. The larger planetary shifts underway. Born for these times, the healing and awakening journey we are on. What's next for us? How to navigate it all without going nuts. And then the guided experience to have that personal shift. So that's what our journey is. And now let's just take another moment to breathe. For our sisters who came in a little bit after the gathering began, let's just take this moment to anchor ourselves in the body, in the present moment, spine straight, opening the heart, breathing from the heart, letting your anchoring cord, your energetic cord, anchor into Mother Earth. If you tend to feel too heavy and grounded, make sure you also anchor to Divine Mother. You can feel that divine cord rising up from the crown, the etheric energies that connect us with Earth Mother, Divine Mother, and the all that is. Thank you. Okay, so I want to do something a little different than I normally do here, which is have a little bit of engagement, a little bit of connection with you all, hear from you. And to do this, rather than, opening up the mics, because that could get, again, kind of noisy, we're going to use either the chat function or the emoji function. And what I want to do is I want to hear from you kind of where you all are at, so I know which parts of this to emphasize more or less. And just also for you all to see that you're not alone if you're facing challenges or getting uplifted in these times. So I'm going to ask a series of 4 questions, and I just use the emoji for a yes or a no, or a thumbs up or a heart, or you could put in the chat yes or no to these. So again, let's just take a breath. And so my first question for you is, are you or have you been experiencing what I'd call stuff, subconscious stuff, bubbling to the surface of your consciousness to be cleared? Maybe maybe something you already thought you've been dealing with, you thought you dealt with. Oh, I'm seeing lots of thumbs up. Okay. So, sisters, just take note of that. A lot of yeses as well. Stuff bubbling to the surface. For some of us, it's like, you got to be kidding me. I thought I had been dealing with this. I thought I cleared this. What is going on? And we have crying faces, yeses, lots of thumbs up. Yeah. It is the nature of the times we're in. We are going to talk about that a little bit. So you're not alone. So if you've been dealing with that and thinking, why am I going through this again? Yeah, it's part and parcel to these times. We're getting a deep, deep cleaning at the psycho-spiritual level, at the subconscious level. All right, here's another question. Have you been feeling what I call, for the Americans will know this, over it? Like, I'm over it. I'm up to here. I'm done with frustration, weariness, the worldly nonsense, the drama, personal circumstances, relationships, career, anything like that. Yep. Yeah. Body pain. Yep. Fatigue. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of us. Caroline and Judith, I see you over there. Mwah, 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 my beloved sisters. Good to have you here. Yay. From Panama. Okay, so so that's happening too. And all right, here's a little different kind of question. Is anyone here having sudden moments or long expanses of clarity about old patterns or circumstances that you know you need to change, like the light bulb moment? Yeah, more yeses, yeah. Like, I think about that for those of us who grew up on TV watching cartoons, when the little cartoon, the light bulb goes on over the cartoon character's head, like they get it, what's going on. That's also part of the increased acceleration and power of the light. And then Amanda says, but the pattern returns. Yeah, because sometimes we need more work to clear it. But just know that, yeah, seeing that pattern, of course, they always say, right, the first step is to recognize the problem, and then we go about finding the solution. We're going to talk about this process, the journey of awakening. So there's a lot there. Okay, and also, final question here, is anyone having sudden unexpected moments or lengthy periods of peace, presence, illumination, bliss? Not because of anything that's happened in the outer world, but just suddenly it's like, yeah, it's all happening. The annoyances, the up to here, the repeat of old patterns emerging, and moments of grace. It's all happening. So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your heart about this, because indeed, that is the nature of these times. Now, for those of us who have tools, who've been doing our work or in a sister container, or, we have our tools and processes. Even for us, it can be very challenging at times. Well, not the bliss part. That's the good part, right? That's the reward. It can be very challenging. And just to take a moment here and just take a breath and think about all the sisters and brothers of Earth who have no tools. They don't know what's going on. They're just in the mainstream. They have no idea. They're unresourced. And is it any wonder that we can look out on the world and go, planet crazy? Because the level of dysregulation is quite intense. So just holding that awareness right now, let's dive into the parts, the pieces that I want to go through here. And so the first part is the larger planetary shifts underway. So just a quote from that page where you opted in to get the information to join us here. We are standing at a turning point in human history. The world is changing rapidly, and for some, this shift is not just something to witness, but a call to rise. And if you're here, you felt the call. There are other sisters I speak with sometimes who are feeling the call, but they're too afraid to answer it. They're still quite stuck in a lot of the stuff that they haven't, that they don't feel ready to clear, let's say. But if you're here, you've heard that call and you're answering it in more ways than one, no doubt, this being but one little way. So we are actually midway through a 3-year acceleration window. Now, some of us have been on this journey for, there have been people who were waking up in 2012, those who were waking up around 2020. There are some of us who've been on a spiritual path, and I know many of you here, including myself, 30, 40 years or more. Although back then it was very different. And in the last, say, decade, there's been more activation, more light in the field. And now in this 3-year window, it's like an acceleration. So there's a tremendous amount of plasmic light coming from the sun, from galactic center, from the what's used to be called the photon belt, or these plasma fields that our entire solar system is moving through. And I would guess other sort of cosmic energies, if you will, that maybe cannot be measured by the devices that we currently have. It is a big transition from an age of great density to one that will be more enlightened and illuminated. But we're at the beginning of it. But we're attempting here on Earth to do something that I don't know if it's ever been done before, where we're having a rapid awakening. And that's very destabilizing for those who haven't sort of prepared the ground of their own psyches, so to speak. And yet we all came here in a way for this. But before I get to that, let's talk a little more about these larger planetary shifts. The intensification is going to continue. I'm sorry to say in one way, but in another way, what that means is potentially rapid clearing of the stuff that doesn't serve us, and more opportunity for moments of peace, bliss, clarity, and the elevation of our consciousness, so that the field of frequency we are holding for our own lives, for our families, for our neighborhoods, for the collective is higher. But it can feel a little bit, and sometimes a lot, like being forged in a fire. Like a sword, a strong steel sword is forged in a very, very hot flame. And that is a little bit what we're going through. And again, I'm going to talk a little bit about that, about some of the things we'll see in our personal lives. But basically, in a nutshell, our issues, our themes, that we came to this incarnation wanting to heal and resolve are coming up hard and fast now. Even if we have worked on them, and many of us have, deeper layers of excavation, like the very kind of, if you imagine yourself like a vessel, and you've had many incarnations, and you came into this one with, some traumas and old patterns that get re-imprinted in early childhood often. Then maybe you've had other traumas, other themes, other struggles, old patterns that you've repeated that you just kind of can't get above. but you've worked on them, right? It's not like you're completely clogged anymore with the very basic. You're not clearing from the top up here. But the energies are such that even way down deep in the sort of bowels of our subconscious, this light is coming in and saying, now is the time to clear it for your liberation, for to raise your frequency, and in so doing, supporting the collective. So when we lean into this clearing, this healing, this unconditionally loving self, and unconditionally loving ourselves through it, we can also rise quickly now. That's the good news, right? The bad news is, yeah, you might be dealing with some stuff you thought you cleared a while ago, but the good news is it doesn't have to take a decade like it used to 20 years ago. We want to lovingly choose our own self-healing. When we do, everyone wins. And that's not the same. Just a quick clarification point for anyone who's somewhat new to the path here. No judgment about that. You are totally welcome, sister. You get a more accelerated awakening journey than some of us who've been on it for a while. Just to make an important clarifying point here, service to self versus service to others. A lot of us have heard this term. Service to self is a selfish taking. It stems from fear. It stems from a feeling of deep separation from source and the divine. Service to others is when we know that we are living and held by the divine, and we can extend that service to others. So that's the distinction. Now, we cannot give from an empty cup or an empty chalice. We must care for ourselves, and that's different than service to self. Caring for ourselves, lovingly parenting ourselves through the challenges we may face as we walk through these times. So, and I'll keep emphasizing that self-care throughout. It's the name of the game right now, okay? We could say on the outer level, the name of the game is accelerated ascension. The name of the game at the individual personal level is loving self-care, loving self-care. Like you didn't even think maybe you could before. So whatever you may be going through, know that this time is a gift and an opportunity for clearing any residual stuff quickly, with grace and ease, and ultimately raising your energy. Self-love, self-care, gentleness, the touch of the Divine Mother in your heart, for your heart through these times. All right, just take a breath, receive that, feel that, allow that to kind of filter in. And I just feel the call to really invite in Divine Mother here, the grace of the Holy Mother who holds us with compassion. For any sister here who right now might be feeling the intensity of it all, and even those of you who are feeling the grace, just receiving Divine Mother's love. Okay, so let's go into the next piece, the healing and awakening journey. You came here for this, believe it or not necessarily at the personality level, but at the soul level, the higher level, the souls who are here on this planet right now, whatever they are walking through, whatever we are walking through, we came to have the opportunity to push the needle on our soul's evolutionary journey, do a nice big push on it, grow, evolve. Those of us who would enter a container such as this, in addition to our own personal evolutionary journey, we were born for these times because we knew we wanted to come and bring forward the skills, talents, abilities that we may have been cultivating for lifetimes in order to serve. I use the term priestess. You could use the term medicine woman, healer, psychic, empath. It doesn't matter what the phrase is. It's just like God doesn't care what you call her, right? We came to hold a frequency, to clear ourselves enough to be a conduit for divine love, light, intelligence to flow into the field in service to the collective. In so doing, of course, we're healing ourselves. So this is the time of the rise of the light leaders. It is the time, sisters and brothers alike. my skills and talents and what I've cultivated work more with the divine feminine and women, but I work with men too. I'm not trying to exclude men at all. Our brothers need our love greatly right now because there has been quite also an accelerated attempt to undermine the sacred masculine. But for our purposes right here, this is the time of the rise of light leaders. Because we came to be a light in dark places, to quote Galadriel in Lord of the Rings, I love that line. We came to be a light in dark places, to heal ourselves and lift others and lift the collective during this ascension cycle. So I want to really underscore that this is a mastery level initiation for us. It's a mastery level initiation. So just take a moment and feel that. If you're here in a container like this, it's not your first, as we would say out west, rodeo. If you are called to be in such a space, you have experience. And when we clear out the gunk, we have access to more of the memories, either literal memories or just the skills coming online, right? Just the abilities that we've already cultivated. So thanks for the heart. Okay, we cannot carry the old energies with us anymore. That's the bottom line. The wounds, the fears, the resentments, the subconscious patternings of low frequency. After incarnating in 3D here or perhaps elsewhere, many incarnations, we're like, we're done. We're clearing the final bits so that we are at the vanguard in a way of the frequency of New Earth. So, and sometimes this can erupt. It comes in waves, like eruptions of negativity. So we could be cruising along and then all of a sudden like a wave of light hits and then, ooh, something comes up and it's like, oh, wow, this is worse than a bad roller coaster. I was doing good and now I'm down. And again, that energy is here for us to release it, to clear it. Sometimes we need to get help, right? Sometimes we need counseling support, therapeutic processes, sacred containers to be in that can help us. If we can't manage it on our own, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we always go back to our capacity to love and parent ourselves through this, and to ask for and invest in the support from others, trusted, healers, teachers, guides, mentors, that when we need it. But again, the self-love. You came for this. We all came for this. It doesn't always feel like it. But let's just take a breath into the multidimensional awareness of your soul that is ready for this mastery level initiation. That's indeed already walking through it. Just feel that. Welcome in your gifts. Welcome in the blessings of being in a container with sisters who are taking this journey with you, if virtually. We're really all on this planet and in this together. And invite in awareness of your spiritual gifts and tools. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of my tea here, and then we're going to go to the next segment. So I felt to share a little bit about what I have seen through, working with many women and my own journey of some of the things we go through in our spiritual awakening journey. And again, the intent here is really, it's twofold. It's one, to support you, to recognize yourself, and also just to be a reminder and a rehearter of, like, it's all okay. You're not abnormal if one of these things is happening to you. And wherever you are in the process is perfectly okay. So see if you can recognize yourself in some or all of these. And while I have to explain them linearly, and they're somewhat linear, they of course overlap and we circle back and stuff. So you can do a thumbs up or a heart or something if any of these, you recognize any of these. from your past or right now. The first is what I call questioning. It's the initial awakening. And this awakening can come as a spiritual awakening, or it can also come as a political awakening, kind of a socio-political awakening. Either one can start that path. I'm seeing some thumbs up. Either one, it could be like, what in the shenanigans is going on Earth, can start that way. Or it can be suddenly your gifts come online. I recently spoke with a sister who, living a quote unquote normal life, not spiritual or anything, suddenly is having total clairaudience and such intense empathic feelings of others that it's too much, right? So that's another way that these can come on. 2012 and 2020 were two major demarcation points for big awakenings. Big awakenings happen, gifts coming online or questioning. So that's one phase. Now, what often comes for those of us who feel the spiritual awakening and don't get dragged down rabbit holes of socio-political shenanigans is, I want to help. Oh, I'm having the spiritual awakening. I really want to be in service. I don't know how, but I feel it. I want to help. So yeah, anyone feeling that? Yep. Yeah, that's a big one too. And then we often go to seeking. Yeah, we all feel it. If we're here, we want to be in service. That's why we came. And that we might not know what that is, or we might already know what that is. We might already be doing it or not, or we may have to radically change or not. But the next phase is the seeking and the taking on of skills. We go into training. We start going, right, I'm really into, Reiki. I call, the big thumbs up, I call Reiki the gateway drug for energy healers. I mean, we all get that, like, oh, I'm gonna learn how to work with energy. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then it goes on from there. For me, my gateway drug was tarot. We didn't even know about Reiki back in 1984, so it was tarot. But we start seeking, learning, taking on skills, finding, some things we like, some things we don't. Sometimes we find a teacher we love. Sometimes we connect with someone and we're like, oh, why did I even do that? It's all good because it's all learning, right? It's all grist for the mill. And then at some point we're cruising along, we're doing our spiritual work, and we hit the wall of shadows. Anyone ever experienced that? You have a dark night of the soul. Yeah. Thumbs up. Anyone have a dark night of the soul ever? You think you're like, I'm a spiritual being and I'm having it and I'm holding it, and then slammo, and it could be anything. I mean, it could be a death of a loved one. It could be a total ego crushing thing in your life. It could be anything. But this is the true call of the soul now that says, right, okay, beloved person, my beloved self having a human walk, I see that you truly do want to awaken now. So let's get to work. Let's get to work. And that's when the shadow work comes in. And this can be the hardest part, because we can often feel like, have I made any progress at all? Yes, you have. Now you're going to go deeper. So that's another part of the spiritual awakening journey. So if you experience that, don't shame yourself, don't guilt yourself. Revert to first message here, loving self-care. Spiritual self-care, loving self-care. Okay, so another phase in this part of it is what I call dalliances in low frequency. Dalliances in low frequency. So this is when, you're on the spiritual path. Maybe you've had a dark night of the soul or two. Maybe you've got some skills. Maybe you're doing some sacred service, but you still want to doom scroll. I'm guilty of this, I have to say. I mean, for me, it's with YouTube, but still, it's like, it's been such a dance of going, right, do I need to just completely get off of that? Or addiction to foods or substances, right? Oh, I'm just going to have one piece of chocolate, or I'd love to have wine with a beautiful dinner, and then just feeling like, afterwards. We're all different. Some of us can do some of those things and some of us can't. honor what you are and recognize that dalliances in low frequency is sometimes part of it's the temptation, right? It's like, in Buddhism, they call it, the temptations of the Buddha was the character called Mara, kind of equivalent to, we could say, Satan or the devil. And, it's that thing of having to say, get behind me, Mara. Get behind me, Satan. I see you, Mara. So that's part of the process too. This, by the way, this could also be old friends. And this one's a little hard to take, right? Because you've had maybe your best friend for years, and then you've really devoted yourself to raising your frequency. And you go out with your old pals or a dear friend, and you just, you could feel the dissonance in the frequency. It's not exactly the same as, overeating chocolate or doom scrolling, but there's still a frequency dissonance where you start to realize, wow, I love this person. I wish them the best. Sometimes it can be a little annoying or irritating, like nails on a chalkboard, but I don't wish them ill, but I kind of can't hang out with them anymore. And I speak with many women, and many of you probably have had this experience with yourself or your friends where you're like, I just kind of can't keep hanging out with this person. And that's its own challenge to walk through with grace and love and compassion for self and others, because we're not doing ourselves a service to spend a lot of time with people who are not on the same awakening journey. It just holds us back. So that could be part of it too. Then through all of that stuff, what starts to happen is a deepening of your devotion. A deepening of your devotion to strengthen your light, strengthen your gifts and service that start to come online as you do this. Or if you were a person who had your spiritual gifts come online first and then you had to kind of back into what to do with them, you'll start to feel like you can wield this magic wand now with alignment with the divine. So that's the next or a step in the process. And again, if you've experienced that where you're like, yeah, I have been through some challenging things. I have had to release some things from my life, and I can feel a deeper devotion now in my life. You can go ahead and say yes in the chat or give a thumbs up or whatever. I see a few there. Someone had written here, toxic friendship cycles. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. And blessings, these are part of all of our learning and all of our, capacity to love at a deeper level. Then there's also stepping away from what I call the battlefield. That's not my term, but it's one that I use, and many of you who have worked with me, know that term. The world we're looking at, that old 3D matrix of war, hate, polarization, separation, fear porn, is the battlefield. It is a consciousness that is not something we can simultaneously be in and be above. So we need to want to choose to be above the battlefield and just be a blessing wherever we are in the world, even if we're walking through it. I like to think of Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, who, the first movie, right, where he's going into wherever that town is, and he tells the stormtroopers, there's nothing to see here. And the stormtroopers go, there's nothing to see here. That's the energy we want to be elevating toward. Hopefully not encountering stormtroopers, but a frequency equivalent of obedient people who are asleep and in the battlefield and polarized on one side of any issue or another. We start to rise above and any kind of polarizing positions. And again, we really embody and recognize the essential nature of self-care as part of our devotion, so that we can fill our vessel and then rise up to hold that field in service to humanity and earth. So the self-care, we've cleared out a lot of stuff, and then we're holding the field and becoming more of that conduit energy, right? Because we're clear and we're at a high enough frequency to be a frequency match for the love light intelligence flowing through and around all of us all the time anyway, and the light flow that's coming more and more strongly in this acceleration window and in these times generally. All right, that was a lot, so let's just drop in here again for a breath. connecting with your heart and trusting and knowing that everything you need, all the information that you need to receive in these transmissions is coming through. You're going to walk away, taking away all of the healing and all of the learning that's right for you and releasing the rest, whether the conscious mind holds on to it or not. Okay, let's shift to the next, which is, our next part is what's next for us. Oh, let me take another sip here. All right, so yeah, now it's time to step up our frequency by focusing intently on our divine light, on our God light. And the way that I've been working now for a while with the women who train with me is to focus inward. As we began, those of you who began at the beginning of this gathering, we did the 0-point breath where we're sourcing from inside, from our access point to our divinity. So we've all been trained to source externally, whether that's information, research, education, religion, any of that stuff, or even a lot of the spiritual traditions, right, where we clear the chakras, and there's nothing wrong with that. I clear my chakras too, where we're pulling light from the outside in, or we're pulling down the divine pillar of light. That's all good. There's nothing wrong with that per se. But what we're beginning to do now is switch the polarity so that we become the source, not we, the personality and the ego. No, the higher self, the divine self, the Christed consciousness that we access through the 0 point at the center of the center of the center of our high heart. So right about there and right about the middle, between front and back. It takes practice, but you begin to feel it. So we become internally or source informed rather than externally informed. And this is really critical at this time because we are seeing the unraveling of the old unloving systems around the world. And we see it, and the way for it to unravel is to see it. The people need to see what's going on. It has to be revealed. But if we look too much, those of us who are here, again, to hold a field of love, light, intelligence, to raise our consciousness and to serve the collective, if we look at it too much, it drags us down, right? So we don't want to look at it. Sometimes we might look and know, oh, okay, that's what's going on. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. And then, phew, source informed. If we look outside ourselves, we might be doing things like, oh my God, it's getting dangerous. I can't go travel, or I can't, whatever it is. We have to go within to be guided divinely, where to be, what to do, how to feel, all of that. So we're changing what has been an inversion already. We're returning it to being source informed rather than being externally informed. So that's one of the biggest things that you can do to really ride the waves, surf the waves of these times. In addition to the other stuff, the shadow work, the healing, all of that. Now, also for many of us, this means actively engaging support for both our healing and our awakening, so that we can embody deeper states of these 3 things: presence, love, and peace. We want to embody these qualities. And we cannot do that if we're looking outside. Now, that doesn't mean, again, we don't find mentors, guides, healers, helpers. That's, yes, sometimes if we go within, we might feel like, wow, this is really challenging for me right now. I want to call upon what would be the healing modality that would most serve and help me deal with this emergence of shadow right now. And then I ask, and then I watch what shows up in my field, right? So just that's the distinction here, so that we can, because when we begin to clear all of that stuff, we can feel safe in our bodies. We can feel safe to be present. We can feel safe to extend love and to be peaceful amidst whatever might be going on around us. So we want to become those clear conduits. So not only do we embody that, but it's flowing through us into the field, right? It's coming through as a radiance for the collective, presence, love, peace. Okay. Then the thing is to remember that this window of choice point. All right, yeah. So we're rising as light leaders. We have this accelerated window of 3 years. We're halfway through that, a year and a half as of June, this month, June 2026. That window is at some point going to close. Now, I'm not trying to be fearful here. It's just we're all sort of making our choices now. What train are we going to be on? Are we going to be on the love train, or are we going to be on the separation fear train? And so there's a level of impeccability that spirit, our higher selves, or the energies at play on earth right now are asking of us. If we want to really serve the organic ascension of earth, not the inorganic human machine blending stuff or the, fear, war, polarization, the more we can be impeccable in our choices of, not having those dalliances in low frequency, being kind, being compassionate, doing self-care, getting help when we need it, clearing our shadow, all of that stuff, daily devotion, right, to God, to love, to Divine Mother, to the earth, to our meditation or our spiritual practices. The more we lean into that now, the quicker our ascension, our own, liberation, and the more we're, ensuring we're on the love train, so to speak. And this isn't about judgment. This isn't about, some people are better than others. It's not that. It's a call. It's a clarion call to our own spiritual devotion is what it is. Your choice and your devotion will impact your lived experience here in the coming years here on earth. So just, that devotion is priceless. Okay, time for another breath. Just taking another breath into the heart, just settling in. Again, trusting and knowing that the words are not as important as the frequency emanation, that I'm being the conduit for this information. Yes, I have notes, but I'm also riffing. It's what's coming through in service, the radiation, receiving the radiant light, feeling the container we've created, the guides that are here for us, the crystalline consciousness we are awakening to as a collective. Okay. All right, so a few more things here. How to navigate it all without going nuts. It's one of those simple but not easy things. And I've already been weaving this through, but just to kind of spell it out, like with these lists here. Consistent devotion to our own healing and awakening. I mean, that's really what it's about. Whatever we're walking through, parenting and loving ourselves enough to continue on the path and not give up. Consistent practices to nurture our connection with the divine. We all have our practices, and if you don't, then experiment with one that works for you. Find someone who can support and help you with that so that you're consistently in that connection. Dealing with shadow material as it arises, from the subconscious. Healthy lifestyle too, when we feed our physical form with nutrition and health and light, touching the earth every day, getting sunlight every day, that the body, this is the vehicle that we have for this ascension. It's coming with us, so we want to take care of it. Choosing again and again to stay out of the battlefield, because all of us get to experience, some more than others, many invitations to join in the lower frequencies. So choosing again and again, avoiding those dalliances in low frequencies, feeling our feelings. It's okay to feel. It's okay to have a day where you feel not good, where you feel sad or angry or something's emerging from the depths. You have to feel it to heal it, they say. It's a good saying. You got to feel it. Now, spending, 6 weeks in a pity party is not the same as suddenly having a day where you're on your knees going, you know, Mother, help me. I feel devastated right now from something that's emerged and I don't even know really what it is. Or I'm triggered by something in my life right now that just makes me feel hopeless. Feel it. I'm a writer. I write it out. That's how I do it. Maybe you need to scream it out, dance it out, cry it out, whatever. Feel it. But not in order to begin to hold it as your identity, rather to release it. And then becoming 100% responsible for our experience, whatever it is, whatever it is, whatever we have been through, not shaming ourselves for choices we made in other states of consciousness. Unless you're about 15 here, we were all born in states of deep density. Welcome, Barbara. And so if we made choices in another state of consciousness that now we look at with regret or shame, offer it up to the Holy Spirit, to Divine Mother, to your higher self. Just offer it up, release it, and come back to deep self-love. So again, simple but not necessarily easy in a world that's demanding a lot of our time, energy, and resources, depending on what our life stream is right now. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Let's take another breath. I would like to do another one of those check-ins and get some feedback from all of you. So you can write in the chat, is there something that's landed for you that's helpful here, or a thumbs up or a heart, or, you know, let me know, has this been in service to you so far? Okay. Yay. Great. Thank you. All right. Yay. Got some celebrations and thumbs up and hearts and flames. Yes, very much. Thank you. Okay, good. I'm glad. This is, you know, this is part of my ministry. My work in the world is to do this. Now, I would like to, we've got a little bit of time left, and I would like to ask your permission for something. Before we get into the guided experience, which will complete our time together today, I'd like your permission to be able to share with you a little bit about Mother Spirit, which is my upcoming priestess training. It is my flagship program. And for some of you here, it may be the next right step. So again, if you give me a yes or a thumbs up, if it's okay to share with you, to take about 10 minutes to, yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. Great. Cynthia asked, doesn't the battlefield need light leaders too? We hold the light so that we can help raise others up and out of the battlefield. I don't mean the physical battlefield of like war places. Yes, all the people dealing with that do need our light. I mean the frequency of consciousness. So I hope that helps. And thank you everyone for being willing to receive what I want to share with you. So, you know, I had some of you know I've been trained in marketing, right? I know some of you because I worked with you. And so, of course, I have my whole great outline. But the truth is, what I really want to do right now is I'm going to share the link to the information page, but I want to tune in and I'm going to just share with you from my heart about Mother Spirit, because I can almost cry. So 42 years ago, 6 women had home births in the state of Connecticut, USA. And we became a group of mamas who were going to do things, be a mother support group. And we started studying the divine feminine, and we became a circle of priestesses. And 6 or 7 years ago, I asked permission I was the youngest by far. I asked permission for the remaining 4 sisters, because one had passed many years earlier, for permission and for their blessing to be able to bring this line forward with the skills, abilities, and talents that I had cultivated over all those decades. And they all gracefully gave me their permission that I do that. And so since 2018, I've been initiating women in the line of Mother Spirit. The first 2 years was more just, we called it like a priestess circle, but then I did the, more of a formal structure. And 3 years ago, I spent a month by the ocean and got a complete download to upgrade that program to a totally new level of what it is. And now this year, after all the activations and trainings I have been doing in the last 3 years with my ascension teacher, I have even more to share and evolve. So you can see some of you in the chat may be sharing who are Mother Spirit priestesses, what your experience was, or how that was for you. You can do that. Thank you for sharing that. It is a sacred 13-month journey. It's 13 initiatory gateways where we go deep into healing, clearing, lifting each other as we rise, which many of you may know that's my keyword phrase, that we lift as we rise. And they're small cohorts, maximum 8 women per cohort. Often I have 2 groups that go to, they journey the 13 months together, but they're in separate groups because the intimacy of the group is important. The sharing is important. The channel transmissions and teachings are important. The work we do where we go through step by step, and you can see in the frequently asked questions of the page that I linked in the chat box there, will tell you what the themes are that we go through these 13 months. So so I have a deep love for this journey because it is what I was initiated into kind of willy-nilly, unbeknownst to me. I was like, yeah, I'll be in a women's group. Yeah, I'm a new mom. I need some support. And it became my life's ministry. The Divine Mother touched us and tapped us on the shoulders by 1985. And I had no idea that I could grow up to be a priestess as a career, but here we have it. In these times, we didn't know. We knew there would be shifts on the planet, but we had no idea. We thought it was going to be unicorns and rainbows and everyone was going to love each other. We didn't know it was going to be planet crazy for a while. So my role is to assist a small handful of women as things go on the planet to raise their frequency, to clear themselves enough to rise as light leaders in this time. Some of those women go on to have their own ministries. Others are elders holding the field of light in service. Others are mamas raising kids in a more conscious way. Others are working in corporate or in other small businesses in service and literally radiating the light of a conscious divine feminine leader, a priestess, in their lives. Others are healers, yoga teachers, medicine women, herbalists. It runs a spectrum, and it doesn't have to be any one thing. Some identify more as medicine woman or healer than priestess. But the journey is very deep. It's very sacred. You make friendships for life. And this is really a few touch points, and then we'll move on. It's for women who are really wanting the Lift as We Rise support of a Sacred Sister container. It's for women who are either new to the path or have been on the path for a long time and want activated heart skills to go through these times steady and in the frequency of love. It's women who are over it with old patterns repeating themselves. They want to be witnessed and they want to be lifted and supported through that, through deep self-inquiry and sharing. And it's for women who want a safe, sacred space to embody, to really learn skills and embody their own brilliance and genius and be witnessed and celebrated for that, and to receive the love of their sisters, to heal the sister wound. So those, if any of that speaks to you, you might be a healer, a teacher, a psychic, a medicine woman, therapist, gardener, elder, whatever it is, that you're here to be in service in some way. Mother Spirit may be for you. So you can have a look at that link that I've shared in the chat box. And I'll share it again here now. Whoopsie. And a couple practicals. What is it? What are the features? 13 months, 2 calls a month on Zoom, small group cohort. Like I said, up to 8 women plus me. It's a carefully curated and honed curriculum designed for maximal spiritual growth and personal empowerment. You get inner work worksheets, recommended resources, lots of support material, but not an overwhelming amount of work. So less course material than the Inner Temple, for those of you who are in the Inner Temple with me. Small container, plenty of connection, 3 one-on-one calls with me throughout the year, including a soul evolution astrology reading, a generous and robust welcome packet, 13 months access to the Priestess Sanctuary. So that includes additional live streams each month, other priestess trainings that are right there in the sanctuary. It's a community, a private community, and many other wise women sisters to connect with. So there's a lot there. And then just as an incentive, if you will, or an invitation, if you look at that page, if you feel, even before you look at the page, you'll already start to feel like, I like working with Dawn. I like this style. I want to be with other sisters. I want to be in a held container for 13 months and really grow myself in this way. You can look at the page and then you apply. So this isn't just anybody. You apply. Now, some of you really don't need to apply. You've already worked with me. But so you can reach out to me privately if you've already worked with me one-on-one or in some other capacity. But you'll see there's an application there. If you submit that by Monday, I also have 4 additional bonuses that I'm going to offer you, whether you find it a fit or not. If you apply and you get on a one-on-one with me and we talk it through and feel it through, whether it works for you, I'm going to send you 4 additional things. So I'm just going to add this rather than talk it through because I really want to get to the activation now. So you can have a look in there at the 4 extra bonuses. There's audios, there's an ebook, guided meditations, that kind of thing. So all that's in there. So if it feels aligned, you can apply or reach out to me privately. Again, if we're already very connected, just email me or text me or however we're connected. We'll schedule a time to talk. Also, when you look at that page, I don't know if Lisa changed it yet, but there's a pay in full and a payment plan, but the pay in full is $5,000 flat. It's not 5,330. So just so you know that. All right, so we got a little bit of time left. I really want to focus now on our activation. So let's just, if you're interested, you can click on that link now, open it up, let that page open up so it's there for you when we complete. And then let's just take a breath together again as we transition now from words and ideas and invitations to an activation, just feeling connected with your heart. Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask another question that's not, you don't have to answer it or respond. It's really for you to ask yourself, and it's our entryway into this guided experience. So right now in your life, whatever the good, the bad, the ugly, the blessings, the grace, the challenges, if you could shift, activate, release, or change one thing right now that would truly push the needle on your spiritual growth, your greater inner peace, if you will, your expansion spiritually, if you could choose one thing to shift, activate, release, or change, what would that be? So hint, this is not, I change my boss or something that you kind of can't change. It's more like in you, like I'd heal a rift between myself and another. I'd learn to love myself truly. I'd forgive myself. I'd forgive some past event. I'd find a more aligned, fill in the blank, job, relationship, neighborhood to live in, whatever. So one thing, just feel that. And if nothing comes, that's fine. But if if there's something that really is going, pick me, pick that. It'll present itself very obviously. All right. And just energetically hold that lovingly. You don't need to know the how. Just hold it lovingly. Ah, yes, there it is. Ah, okay, and take a breath into the heart. We're going to drop into the heart now. So if your energy is in your mind, that's perfectly fine. Just imagine with a breath, you're going to drop down like an elevator is taking you down to the back of the heart. And then a breath into the heart so that you can rest there. The place of divine love. And with you comes that one thing. You may not know what to do with it, and that's fine. Just being there in the presence of love at the heart center with that one thing. It could be something new or something that you've been wrangling with for years. No judgment, just holding it loosely, lovingly, there in your heart. And I'm hearing and feeling the word honor. So let's go with that. Take a nice deep breath into that 0 point, pulling more love, more light into the field, into your own heart, expanding your own divine heart on the inhale. On the exhale, bathe that one thing in love, light, intelligence. And again, breathing in. Exhaling and bathing that one thing in love, in light, in divinity. Feel it and know it. We're honoring whatever that one thing is. It came into your field, your life, your experience for a reason. You may or may not know what it is. We're just going to honor it as an opportunity to heal, to grow, to learn. Perhaps an opportunity to release. So as you continue to breathe now, let the inhale draw forth more love, more light. And the exhale, bathe that one thing and yourself with that love, that light, that honoring of you having an earth walk, warts and all. Breathing in. Honoring your own self, honoring that one thing. Bathing it all in light. And now I'm being guided to do the Ho'oponopono to guide us through the forgiveness prayer of the Hawaiians. Interesting, probably because we just worked with this last night in my other group right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that one thing. And I'm going to share with you the way I do it. You can, if you're experienced with this, you can use your own words. It's fine. But lovingly holding that one thing, symbolically holding that one thing, whatever it is, you can follow my lead or do your own. Just witnessing that one thing, a situation, a person, an aspect of self, whatever it is. And we'll begin. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Oh, I forgive you. Thank you. Deep breath. And we're going to do this again for ourselves. So feel yourself holding yourself lovingly, holding your own tender heart, your own all too human, tender, beautiful heart. And again, using your own words, if you do it a different way or following along with mine, say to yourself, as if you're looking at yourself in the mirror or holding yourself, lovingly. I love you. You can even say your name. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. Deep breath. Okay, we're going to do this one more time where we hold both that one thing and ourselves. So the whole situation, we're going to hold it now. And we're going to offer the Ho'oponopono forgiveness prayer to all of it. So witnessing it, maybe you are looking at it from above, maybe you're feeling it, however it presents for you is right for you. And let's go through this one more time. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. Now take this entire thing, and you can make your hands like as if your hands are a chalice. So if you want to open your eyes and look for a moment at me, you can see I'm holding my hands like a chalice. You can do it with your hands, or you can just use your imagination. And imagine that you have this sacred chalice. Let it be whatever it presents for you, golden or crystalline. This is the holy chalice of Divine Mother's heart. Feel it. The frequency is high. It is the high frequency of unconditional love. And we're going to place that one thing and ourselves dealing with the one thing into the chalice now. Just energetically, symbolically, witness and experience, placing this loved up in frequency, situation, circumstance, aspect of self into the chalice of Divine Mother. And now what we're going to do is we're going to inhale and pull light from the 0 point on the inhale. Pull love, light, intelligence, divine source light from infinity into the field of your beingness on the inhale. And on the exhale, let it pour forth into the chalice. So we are literally lighting up, illuminating, raising the frequency even further with this sacred practice. Inhaling, pulling forth light. Exhaling, filling the chalice. Inhaling, pulling forth light. Exhaling, raising the frequency of this one thing, of you, of your divine heart, with beautiful love, light, intelligence into the chalice. And again, breathing in. Exhaling, blessing, raising, loving up in frequency, that one thing, so that the shift, the release, the activation becomes easeful, graceful, the natural next step. One more, breathing in. Exhaling, filling the chalice, bathing, feeling the way any lower frequency is transformed by the light of divine love. Beautiful. Just take a moment to feel and weave the connection between heart and chalice, your own divine eternal love light, flowing through you as an open conduit of love, of Divine Mother, of healing, transformation. And when you're ready, you have a choice to drink in what's in the chalice, pour it forth over your head as if you're bathing yourself in that new light, or releasing it into the field to be a blessing for all. When you're ready, you can do that now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And taking a moment now, let us just honor ourselves for showing up. Showing up here, of course, showing up in our lives, showing up for ourselves, for our loved ones, showing up on earth during this tumultuous and auspicious time. Just being grateful for the opportunity to be in sacred relation with others, here in this circle and elsewhere in your life. And let us now honor all the energies we called forth at the beginning of our gathering when we opened sacred space. The elders, the wisdom elders of our own family lines, the wisdom elders who hold the field of light for earth, the four directions, the below and above and the center, any of our guides, teachers, master teachers in the non-physical, angels, all the beings of light, Mother Gaia herself, Divine Mother, Christed Light. Thank you, thank you, thank you for holding us in this sacred space. Thank you, thank you, thank you for walking with each of my sisters through her life journey. Thank you for supporting her. May each sister here feel the grace of Divine Mother and Mother, Father, God in your heart and in your life stream, whatever it is you walk through in the weeks and days ahead. And thank you for co-creating this sacred space with me. May self-care be your default setting, and may you be a conduit of light in service to love that blesses you always and in all ways. Thank you, sisters. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Many blessings on you.